This show is not about games, it's about life. Human beings feel like they are living in the Squid Game, that's why it's so popular. Even scientists are going bonkers over the show, and they created an algorithm to predict the survival in Squid Game's glass bridge. So what are the reasons behind the success of this series? One of the major reasons behind the success of the series is season change, and it might sound silly at first, but this is backed by research. Sudden drop in temperature all across the globe got people to stay inside under the blankets and watch content. Moreover, researchers have shown that TV viewership is the highest in the autumn season, and broadcasters have traditionally focused new show launches around the autumn or fall season. Agencies buy network advertising packages months ahead of time, expecting viewership trends to increase based on the seasonality. Brands also spend more on campaigns that are scheduled during the autumn season due to strong TV viewership. And all across the globe, frequency of power cuts is higher in the summers than compared to the winters. And so it's easier for people to binge watch and chill. And in a unique attempt by mapping the average temperature with the viewership data across 6 megacities, it was revealed that the temperature and TV viewership has an inverse relationship, which means high temperature equals to lower TV viewership. The season is big reason behind the success of Squid Game. The craze of the show is so out of hand that thousands of curious South Koreans also tried the 8-digit phone number that appears on the business card, which the show's makers didn't realize would reach an actual person. The owner of the number and even people with similar numbers have been flooded with calls and messages at all hours. Squid Game has the power to win over our psychology. What makes Squid Game more relatable and popular is that household debt is at all-time highs in nearly every country, and this show is popular in all of those countries. Household debt is defined as all the liabilities of households that require payments of interest or principal by households to the creditor at a fixed date in the future. Even in 2019, household debt was at an all-time high, and the coronavirus compounded the issue. In the first half of this year, global household debt increased by $1.5 trillion to put the ultimate figure at $55 trillion. And in the first half of the year, roughly a third of the nations studied by the Institute of International Finance experienced an increase in household debt. And in countries like India, household debt seems to have doubled in 2021 from 2018 levels. Household debt in South Korea has grown significantly in recent years and is now equal to the country's annual GDP. People are racking up debt because of credit card spending and unemployment. In addition, some Koreans, especially young people, borrow money to invest in cryptocurrency. And all of this creates a vicious cycle in the economy. In South Korea, bankruptcy is seen as a terrible misfortune rather than a chance to start over. This is highlighted in the drama Squid Game, in which contestants are offered the opportunity to leave but prefer to continue playing even if it means risking their lives. One South Korean said, "It is not just the death of the body in the real world, it's also the killing of their pride. It is the humiliation of having to be such a failure in front of your family." Canada's debt to GDP ratio increased by nearly 80%, the highest of any developed country in 2020. According to the Institute of International Finance, global debt is fast approaching a record $300 trillion. Additionally, the credit health of companies all across the globe is also in very bad shape. Credit health refers to the company's ability to repay a loan within a specific time frame. Companies all across the globe are suffering to pay their debt back. Park Se-ha, a senior fellow at Yonsei University in Seoul, South Korea, said, "Although I am young, I could easily relate to the hard realities of a very competitive society, which were shown in the show." Moreover, Seji, an assistant professor of Korean and East Asian studies at Pusan National University in South Korea, also said, with an average income of about $42,000 a year, many Koreans now find they have to borrow to keep up. And we are not just talking about South Korea. Wage averages are decreasing in all countries across the globe. The index of OECD shows how unemployed people, those who work less than 36 hours a week, want more work so that they can make ends meet. Margi Kim, a housewife in Seoul who watched the show Squid Games with her family, said while she enjoyed its intensity and pop art influenced visuals, the underlying messages were also important. She said, "I do feel the pain of what our society is going through. The show deals with so many pressing issues: income inequality, youth unemployment, a rapid aging society, and it's something that I and my entire family can relate to and talk about. So many middle class and ordinary people live with so much debt." And not just ordinary viewers, even psychologists are coming ahead. Dr. Kamna Chibber, head of mental health and behavior studies at Fortis Healthcare, has had several clients discuss the show with her. And she says people identify with the parts they feel are reflective of the realities of the world they occupy, that are easy for them to make sense of. And the weather changes that helped Squid Game blow up is accompanied by holiday seasons as well. The series aired on September 17th, just in time for Chuseok, a Korean festival compared to Thanksgiving, making it the perfect time to binge watch. As a result of increased network traffic, one internet service provider filed a lawsuit against Netflix to recover the losses. And one more point which makes the show super hit is that childhood games bring back nostalgia, which is the connecting factor for people. Every game is highly relatable and simple. The games played in the series are played all across the globe. Of course, they are not that aggressive and violent, but as a person, you'd think that what I would do if I was playing the game right now. And we put ourselves in their places. Dong Kang, vice president of Korean content at Netflix, told NBC, "So we knew it would resonate with our members here." Moreover, Netflix is also placing a large investment on the Korean market. This year, the business will spend $500 million on Korean content, roughly as much as it did in the previous 5 years. And one more thing which makes Squid Game interesting is that it involves politics and even murder. In the middle of the show, the viewers found out if a person gets murdered, they automatically are eliminated from the game and no punishment is given to the murderer. So the bad people can even murder their toughest opponent so that they can get ahead in the game. Meanwhile, the production value of Squid Game is outstanding. Despite being a dark show, it is shot in vivid, colorful environment, highlighting the game's deadly silliness. The settings are detailed and have gloomy vibe. One more thing which makes Squid Game more relatable is that global inequality is on the rise and the situation is very serious following COVID-19, and people connect with that. In the show, it shows how rich people or VIPs are careless about the death of young people and they just care about their entertainment and money. Squid Game has some real life lessons as well, like betrayal comes from the people you trust the most, and kindness sometimes comes from people that you least expect it from. But Squid Game is not all about the debt and economic downturn. It has developed a connectivity with the people that it is even helping small businesses come out of debt. Squid Game is helping boost the economy from the increased sales in Dalgona candy to record-breaking merch sales. The boom in the sales of Dalgona candy is helping small businesses all across the globe, and not only in South Korea. Netflix is not even available in China, but still the trend is going so strong that Dalgona candy is selling like crazy in China. The show's merchandise is also supporting small retail businesses. Squid Game even helped Netflix boost its stock. Now the Netflix stock is rocking the stock market. The biggest factor behind the success of the show is its relatability and connection. For now, all we can hope for is countries all across the world should recover from the economic devastation such as household debt, unemployment and inequality, so that people don't feel like they themselves are part of the game.